Pleasant good morning, one and all. Pleasant good morning. Welcome to today's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence. Today is Thursday, the 9th day of January, 2025. Now, the first question some people want to ask, I know not you here now on the live, but people who are going to see this later, why on Thursday? Well, we did indicate that yesterday I had an appointment, and as a result of that, the program or the class could not have been held yesterday, and we promised that today is the makeup. We're not going to deny you the right to get valuable, credible information. So we weren't able to be here yesterday because of a prior engagement, which could not have been rescheduled. So we decided that we're going to come today, Thursday. So welcome. I know because of that, because today is Thursday, not a regular day for this program, I will urge you to share, because I noted the schoolyard was not as packed as it usually is. And I suspect this because a lot of people would not have received the notice that the program is going to be on today at the usual time. And I say to you again, that is why people have got to be encouraged to make sure that they subscribe to the channel and they follow the page, and that is on YouTube. Subscribe, you hit the notification button, that little bell at the bottom, and whenever a notice is published, you are going to get a notification, so you will be able to follow what is going on. If you are a Facebooker, you like the page, you follow the page, and you too are going to get your notice when anything is published. And you know, I note that a lot of people, including some of you who are on the live here now, even though you are on the live, some people have not subscribed. I can see it in the analytics that some people, even though they are regulars on the program, they have not subscribed to the channel. So we urge you, it's not only to subscribe, but once you subscribe, there's a little notification bell. I think it's at the bottom right or something like that. You're required to hit that bell to get the notifications when we go live. So share the live, and let people know that we're on today, Thursday, the 9th day of January, 2025, our second program for the year 2025. And we have lots to tell you, lots. My colleague, Mr. Conway, is already in the studio waiting to bring you credible information. And you know, a wonderful day, the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. It's a privilege to be in the land of the living, to see this new day, and to be able to participate in this program. And therefore, we should always give praise and we should always give thanks. As I indicated, we have lots to talk about this morning. Lots. You're going to be intrigued by some of the things that we are going to see. We're going to tell you some of the truth, some of the revelations this morning. It will blow your socks off. So sit back, get your popcorn, your Cokes, whatever you use, your coffee. For those of you who are in the cold in New York and the States and elsewhere, sit back and be amazed at some of the things that we will bring to your attention this morning. So once again, share the information, share that we're on, let people know that we're on. Come when you come in, give us the thumbs up, show your appreciation, and we are going to be with you for the real thing in a short while. This year, pace and power, election year, this is a year when general and regional elections are scheduled to be held in Guyana. And therefore, you're going to have a lot of propaganda. People are going to come out with all sorts of, according to Nyland, all sorts of nonsenseness. We are going to hold them accountable. We are going to tell you the truth as it relates to the areas that we deal with. And I tell you, we are not politicians. We are retired senior police officers, and we understand how the police force should work. We understand a lot about the law and the Constitution, and that is what we are going to tell you about. So some of the other aspects of politics, don't ask us to go into that. We are not going to get involved in that. We are getting involved in things that we are not sure about. So when we come and we tell you anything here, we are 100% sure about what we are talking about. And that is why they don't challenge you, There was one time they sent out one troll, like last week, not last week, Monday. They sent a troll for asks about Norton. We are dealing with that. If you want to make allegations about Norton corrupt or whoever corrupt, take it to the correct authority. We are not here for that. And if you're going to come, as some of them have done in the past, and be disrespectful and so on, no. Wrong place. Wrong place. If you want a platform, then create your own platform. Create your own platform to spew your garbage. But we're not going to tolerate that on Speaking Out. Speaking Out is about the truth. Speaking Out is about the truth, and that is what we're going to give you. We're going to do the roll call. The program was scheduled just about 7 this morning. And for the time we scheduled, as is customary, the students flooded in to the schoolyard. And when we went live, people are there on the live, Facebookers. And as I indicated, I know that this is going to catch a lot of people by surprise, the fact that we are on a Thursday. I do not expect to have the numbers that we normally have. Well, having said that, the numbers in the schoolyard, again, amazing. People are just interested in hearing the truth. And that is what we're going to bring to you. As I said, I anticipate a lot of people are going to join late, because if you share the information that we're on, a lot of people are going to be caught and they're going to come on. Those persons who can get it live are going to come and view it on YouTube, because it's on YouTube to be viewed immediately after the live broadcast is finished. And not only this episode, but all other episodes. This is season 4. Today's episode 2 of season 4. All the others, season 1, season 2, season 3, they're all there for people to go and look and see listen to what is going on. Let me run the roll call, and then we're going to go into the announcements. Then we're going to go into the meat of the program. Jackie was here early this morning. 7:01, the thing. Ian Wayne came in around that time. Wayne, Tessa, Peter, they all came at 7:01. And then after that, it was Kenneth from Maryland. Shortly after, Barlett from the Hills was here very early. Evelyn, Leon, Barbara, Carlton, my squad mate, who reached out yesterday to find out if we were on or not. So I'll tell you now, we got on today. Charlene is here. Danny says in GT, man. Danny and DT. Danny, like you're going to get your cash grant by Danny and GT. Enjoy, my brother, and be safe. Lyndon, Brenda, then it was Brian, Michael, the man from Mbaimada is here. Courtney, Queenie, Winston from California is in the house. Sean from upstate New York. Pauline, Kevin is here with us. Cecile, Pastor Smith is here. And this is not the one that you is on TV. This is Clifton Smith, 9339 was his regulation number. Forbes is here, and Forbes is Forbes, I think Forbes in St. Kitts, I think it is. Maury, he too is in Guyana enjoying the good weather. Buran from Essequibo Coast, Annette, Lennox, Tuana is here with us. Anthony, Lyndon from the British Virgin Islands. Akko, Vibert, Orin from the UK, Monica, Desiree from Georgia, Patricia, and from Patricia from New Jersey, the one and only BX, Marv, old depot man. BX, I'm sure I saw you responded to that post in the group. We can follow up and to have our get together. Aubrey is here, Marlon is here with us, Marcia, Malcolm, Vibert, Marva, Floyd. Bye, Bangalang, I miss you, bye. You missed classes for some time now. Good to see you back in class. Simo is here with us. Daniel, Bonita, Jacko from Georgia is also here. Anthony Bradshaw, the man from Peters Hall and the East Bank. Brennan, he said he was beat and teach. That is what we do all the time. Carl, Paul, I missed you in class too for some time. And Paul, I noted the passing of our good friend Eldridge Thompson from Barbados. And I read your comment about him. A good man. George, Inferno Boss is here. Morton, Dion, Moses, George, called up from BV, Dwayne, Sagi Jarvis is here, 9602. Then we have Gavin, it is Lucius, Audrey, I understand you posted you were in Guyana, and I hope you enjoyed your stay. Magnell, Wayne is here. Wayne said his regulation number 15734. Grace is here with us. Vibert from the East Bank. Rhonda, Walterine, Diane, Aubrey from Canada 9053. Who me is here with us, always present. And she or he, I'm not sure what is the gender, gonna tell you that you must give the notification, give a thumbs up, and let's have it. Siobhan, Rhonda is here. Then I'm still in the house. Diane, Bert, Earl. Then it is Claire. Vanessa is here. The Kanamaruk man. Ovid. And Ovid here from Essequibo Coast. Essequibo Coast represented. Ulrich from across the river. He's a man from over the pond. Tallulah. Patricia. Maureen. And the Maureen says Seattle. Maureen is all the way across there on the Pacific Coast. And Seattle must be cold as hell there now, man. Make sure that you stay warm. Salima is here with us. Our number was 17488. Aral, Denise, the secretary, is here. Albert, Colin is here. Grantley, Patricia, again, condolences to you, my dear. Then it is Emerson, Woody the woodpecker, 11668. Woody, Clarence is here. Dorrit, Donna, Doreen, my squad mate, all the way from Canada, is in the house. Sandra, Henrik, Fergus, Monica, Rosalind, Mary, Everett, the man from Texas, is here. Everett, I noted your comment about the name on the poster, and I'm going to ask I've already asked the technical man to correct it. He's going to do it sometime soon. Then we have, this is brother Leon Pollard. Say BV in the house. You know, BV is my hometown. BV is in the house. Neville is here. Sean, Trevor, Nigel, Carol, Esla, Smitty. Smitty is here. 7464. Wonderful detective. I can't say that's a dying breed. That breed has died. Danny earlier was here. We call him. Edda is here with us. Gordon. Then it was Russ Ricardo. And he said he loved the last program. He said last program was beat and teach. He loved it. He loved it. Mr. G. Chilo, I got a complaint for you. One of your fellow students complained that you were missing in class for 2 straight weeks. And she asked that disciplinary action should be taken. It is being considered. It is being considered. Cameron, Lukesh, then it was Lorraine, Verlin, Drayton, Drayton, Isabella, Courtney, R. Crawford, Francis Keep from Melanie Namashana, Ezzy, Valerie, Lester, then it was Thomas, Joseph, Colin, Old Police 6984, Claudette, the original black man is here as usual, Denise, and Denise is enjoying the good sunshine in Guyana, I hope. Conali, Alfred, Ulrich, Tony, and then then we had Lyndon and Malia as the last person on before we went live, and then Edward, as usual, very, very early. Trifosa is here with us. Jason, Gordon, Mary, Joan from Berbice is here, and the list goes on. Shelley and Orin is here. Danny, my cousin from Trinidad, is here. So we have lots of students, and we are going to go right away into the for the announcements. And let me see. Now let me start off by announcing some birthdays today. Today is the birth anniversary of a loyal student who has a special relationship with my co-host. And I'm referring here to Mrs. Jiva Conway, the wife of Mr. Clinton Conway. She is celebrating her natal day today. Congratulations to you, Jiva. She has been with this program from the inception. From the inception, she has been attending class. Supporter from the beginning. And today is also the birthday of a student. I understand this student is in the Bahamas. No, sorry, this is not today. I'm going to tell you about that. But today is the birthday of a cousin of mine, Abiel Williams. Our mother, Trifosa, is on the live here now. And Abiel is celebrating a birthday today. My young cousin. And in terms of belated birthday greetings, Mr. Chester celebrated his on the 7th. Retired Deputy Commissioner Chester celebrated on the 7th. And we also have, one that I missed, and I got to pay a fine, Jano, comrade. Lyndon Johnson is here now, celebrated his birthday about a week or two ago. And we missed it. Somehow I missed it. I missed it. Apologies, my brother. And I hope you had a wonderful day. And today we also have a belated birthday for a student. Her name is what's her name? She is young. I can't remember her first name now. If Mr. Conway might remind me. She is a teacher in the Bahamas, and she celebrated recently. She is a regular student. And I want to say advanced birthday greetings to my beautiful wife. She's gonna be celebrating her birthday soon. So advanced birthday to her. I know she'll be taken by surprise by this public announcement because she's a very private person. So to those who are celebrating today, to those who celebrated recently, and to those who are celebrating soon, all the best. May God continue to bless you, to grant you long life, strength, health, prosperity, long life. So that's the announcement. What else? Now, before I begin, Mr. Conway, there's one other I want to. We always talk about cricket. We don't have any live matches going on now, but cricket. I'm not sure if the cricket fans have noted recently there is a proposal by I think it's the ICC or whoever to divide Test cricket into two tiers. So you get the elite teams and you get the teams down at the bottom. And there's no question down at the bottom who you have: West Indies, Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, Ireland, and they're going to play. The proposal is for them to play among themselves, and the senior teams, the elite teams, England, Australia, Pakistan, New Zealand, and those teams are going to play at the top. I don't know if it will work. We're waiting to see how the modalities of such an arrangement, but that can have a devastating effect and impact on cricket in the West Indies. I saw an article not so long ago that the Sir Clive Lloyd commented on it. So we don't know. I don't know the modalities, if they're gonna be a system where you have you play and then they have promotion for those lower teams, an opportunity for them to get into the big league, so to speak, or if they're gonna be relegation, so if those big teams and perform. We don't know, but it has some worrying implications for cricket in the West Indies. And I say that because England and India in particular, when they tour the West Indies, my understanding is this is where West Indies make the money. Because when England come to the West Indies, they go to Barbados, they go to Antigua, they go to St. Lucia, they go to to Grenada, and you have thousands and thousands of English fans following them, and significant impact, positive impact on the economies of those countries. So let's wait and see how this is going to play. But I thought, because I know we have lots of cricket fans in the school, in the class, I thought I'll mention that. And the other thing I want to mention before I bring in Mr. Conway, maybe I'm not following up the news as I should, but I heard much about Mashramani, 23rd of February, Republic Day, normally by now, since December, since Christmas done. You're hearing all sort of thing about Mashramani, all the competitions and all of that. So maybe it's a little low-key this year. I don't know. So, Cece, let me bring you in. Cece, welcome to this second episode for 2025. I hope you had a pleasant night, and I know that you have a lot to share with us this morning. So, welcome.
Thank you. Had a pleasant night. I will talk something about it later. And happy to be in the land of the living to do God's work. Um, Thanks for the sentiments you expressed in relation to my wife's birthday, which is today, and also the one from your wife, which is coming up shortly. My wife told me sometime around this time is your wife's birthday. And also, I want to shout out to Esther Young. She's an educator. She's based in the Bahamas. Very ardent student. She don't miss a class, whether she get it live or otherwise. I think recently she went on holiday in the United States of America, and she came back just in time after the cold weather that is hitting the United States of America. So Esther, I know that you're watching. Happy birthday to you and from my wife. Well, in terms of the cricket, I think it's all about television rights and it's all about money, the big ones. India, Australia, England is about money. We know the Indians, they're dominating the scene, in terms of the television rights and so forth. But let's hope that doesn't come through the two-tier thing that they're talking about. And I think I read was the birthday of Miss Lawrence Rowe. So Lawrence of Sabino, I think was his birthday recently, and there's a man who got the world record in his debut. The first test match he played, he scored 200 in the first innings and a 100 not out in the second innings. And during that period at Sabino, I remember he scored a double century against Guyana. Then New Zealand came, he scored a double century in the match against Jamaica for New Zealand, and then he went down to the test match 200 and 200 plus and 100. So, happy birthday to Lawrence Rowe also. Now, let me tell you something. I nearly talked myself into trouble last night. Sometime after midnight, myself and wife, we were reminiscing. And I used some words that, I nearly put myself in trouble. It's a good thing that she's not violent, nor she's not hot-tempered. We were reminiscing, and things happen after midnight. And as I remember, we were been together since 1978, she said yes. As I remember, I was a constable at Maburumo, and you were a nurse at Maburumo. The police station is opposite the Maburumo. The police station opposite Maburumo Hospital, vice versa. And she had wanted security. I had wanted medical attention. And we link up since then, since then. So I made a wild statement, I say, something. Since I knew you had a whole set of men with me. A whole set of men with me. She said, "Boy, like you crazy? Like you been to Matthews Ridge in them two self-dog pig that pit that the minister talk about, and you find some cocaine, but you only get the cocaine like you smoke some." I said, "Well, your husband don't smoke." I said, "Well, listen to me. You're listening, but you're not hearing. You're hearing, but you're not listening. Listen to me. Since you met me, you had an old set of men, and you know them men too." She said, "What are you saying?" And I said, "Well, since you knew me as Constable Conway. And then you had Corporal Conway, Sergeant Conway, Assistant Superintendent Conway, because I wasn't the inspector, Deputy Superintendent Conway, Superintendent Conway, Senior Superintendent Conway, Assistant Commissioner Conway. You had a retiree. And then you had a geriatric. And in between, you had a multi-million dollars person who was bogus. You say yes. So I say, "Which one of them you like the best?" You say, "I like all of them. I like all of them. But the one I didn't like is the one that I give you. When they charge you for the $10 million thing, that was a fraud. And I didn't like the one, but I enjoy the retiree and I enjoy the geriatric, because you are not like that. You're not like that one. The commissioner's well-paid, unofficial PRO who the commissioner on PRO who is weak down the leg side. You're not weak down the leg side. And we talk about other things, but then I can't talk more because this is just the appetizer. So let's move on to the real meat of this program.
Well, I don't know how you know that this man is unpaid. This big dog like said. Sometimes the man is properly rewarded. Remember, payment is not sometimes only in the form of cash, So they get payment in kind. You never know. So you gotta be careful. Now let me say this. I forgot to also give a shout out to my niece of mine, my niece-in-law, Mrs. Tanya Watson Lewis. She's in Georgia, Swanee, Georgia. She celebrated about anniversary recently too. So Tani, forgive me for missing the shout out earlier, but all the best for you and others. Now let me move on. Cece does always come good, man. Cece, you can't stop Cece. You can't stop CC. Now, let me look into my crystal ball early this morning and tell you some things that I see. I'll tell you one now. Now, according to the news in the US, the president-elect, Mr. Donald J. Trump, is supposed to be sentenced in New York tomorrow in what they call the Hush Money case. He making maneuvers in New York, appeal the matter in New York all the way up to the federal appeal in New York, and they said no, we want it put off, we want it postponed. And the judges said no, face your music, be sentenced on the 9th. Now the judge the judge in New York who is to sentence Mr. Trump did say that there's not going to be any incarceration. And as I had anticipated, Mr. Trump, I think yesterday, through his attorneys, moved to the U.S. Supreme Court because they're seeking to have this sentencing that is supposed to take place tomorrow put off for some later date. And I looked into the crystal ball, and the crystal ball tell me that sometime during the course of today and before tomorrow, the Supreme Court is likely to grant Mr. Trump his request, so to speak. Crystal ball, this crystal ball don't wrong, This crystal ball don't wrong, but that's why I see that even though there's a big thing that he's supposed to be sentenced tomorrow, the judge said you can either come in person or attend virtually, move to the Supreme Court. And if you look at how things are going, I anticipate and I predict that the Supreme Court is going to intervene to grant Mr. Trump his request. That is how the world goes. Money talks and bullshit walks, So that is how it goes. So let me see what is going to happen. And then, they say inter benima, make Kwashiba take notice. Again, we are not political, but I have noted in recent weeks, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Rowley, has indicated that he is stepping down. I think the last news is the acting Attorney General, Stuart Young, will be taking over as Prime Minister sometime soon. Right? I noted Justin Trudeau from Canada, he too stepping down as Prime Minister. A wind of change is blowing in 2025. It would appear that a wind of change is blowing through 2025. Some of them, they believe that they get transport. I can't tell Larry Lewis to say they believe they get transport for the office. But let's see where it is going to go. Trinidad, serious trouble, serious state of emergency declared just before the whole year, because in December they were reporting about 60-something murders. For the year, 300 and something murders in Trinidad, state of emergency. Right? What we doing? No, crime rate down by how much, some fantastic percentage, the calling and so on. And the same people who tell you this crime rate down by these fantastic numbers, every day you can see people reporting crime here. These same people, you see them establishing outposts and police stations. But yeah, ain't got no crime, everything good. We're going to talk about that a little bit more as well. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. Now, let me ask Mr. Kam if you want to comment on those things that I've said there just now, and then we're going to move on. See anything you want to say about the resignation or the giving up of office of those prime ministers and Mr. Trump?
Well, a wave of change, and they're honorable men. If they decided they're going to come out before they get kicked out. They tried their best, but their best wasn't good enough. So, but these here will not waiting to be kicked, but they will eventually be kicked.
So I'm gonna jump. Now let me say this. Again, and then let me preface this by saying, I am not picking on the police, I'm not picking, but I need to point out some of these things. And I'm referring here to the police corporate propaganda unit. I don't know who are the ones who making these releases. I don't know what type of qualification they get, what type of vetting. It is clear to me, I believe, that these releases are not vetted properly. So here, the release published on the 7th, day before yesterday. Police find unlicensed gun ammo in Sapphire. Good work. Once you find gun and so on, even though the possession of a firearm is not considered as a serious crime, it's not going to be reported as a serious crime, but you find gun, You find ammo, you get it off the system. That is good work. That is good work. There was a time, not so long ago, during the era of Mr. Larry Lewis, policemen find gun, they were given financial reward. I don't know if that has stopped. I haven't heard policemen who find gun get a little small piece as encouragement, right? But perhaps they will want to consider that because the crime chief reported at the end of the year how much guns they take off the streets and all that. Good to take off the guns off the street, but you should reward the ranks for the good work. But here what this one say. Police ranks on Sunday night found an unlicensed firearm and 7 rounds of ammunition after they stopped a vehicle and requested to carry out a search in Sophia, Georgetown. Again, we're not going to debate now stop and search and the legality of stop and search. Not going to debate it here now. Police headquarters reported that about 20 hours Sunday, ranks were on mobile patrol duty in Deerfield, Sophia, when they observed a white Sienta motor vehicle number HD, they get the thing, but it's a car, proceeding south along a road in the area where there were 3 male occupants inside. Now, the first thing I said, oh, you'll get 3 male occupants inside. Now, I know if me went to school the wrong time, but not as you should say the way there were 3 male occupants, you're suggesting that the occupants could have been outside. Because if you're saying the proceeding south along the road in the area with 3 male occupants inside, I don't know, I remember I hadn't got to secondary school in Ireland, so I might be wrong. But I'm saying, so all we can say, my interpretation, if you're talking about 3 male occupants inside, then you are suggesting that the occupants could have been outside as well. But let me continue reading. One of the ranks signaled the driver of the car to stop, and he complied. The ranks then requested to conduct a search on the motor vehicle. The individuals agreed, but when the officers requested that the occupants exit the vehicle, one of the occupants exited the car and began running south along Black and White Road and turned east into a street. One of the ranks, a lance corporal, gave chase, during which he observed this individual take out a black object, a firearm, from the waist of his pants, throw it on the ground, and continue running. The man made good his escape. The ranks then picked up the object left behind. It was a 9mm pistol without any serial number. The other 2 occupants in the vehicle gave their names, and they get a name, I'm not going to call the name. Police said a search was carried out on the persons and the car, but nothing of evidential value was found. They were, however, arrested and escorted to the Turkine police station. The driver told the police that he was plying his trade that night when he received a call on his cellular phone from a male who told him to pick him up at Third Street, Cummins Lodge. On his arrival at the pickup spot, he reportedly observed it was 2 men. He recognized one as Jonathan, only name given, the brother of one of his frequent passengers from Afield, Sophia, and a man named Benjamin. After picking up the men, they told him they were going to Afield, Sophia, and while en route, they were stopped by the police patrol. The driver denied having knowledge of Jonathan and a firearm in his possession. Checks were made for Jonathan in the area, but he was not found. Then they say here, meanwhile, the firearm was taken to the Criminal Investigation Department, CD headquarters in Larry, where it was fumed for latent fingerprints. The magazine was ejected from the firearm, and it contained 7 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Investigation continues. Again, them long stupidness that is right. They like a lot of long nonsense. One of the ranks, a lance corporal. What is the significance of that, of a lance corporal? What is the significance of you including in a press release that one of the ranks was a lance corporal? Gave chase, during which he observed this individual take out. They reported, he take out. He didn't necessarily took out a black, he take out. So it's a Chinese restaurant. He take out an object from his waist, of his pants, then he throw, past tense, he throw on the ground and continue running away. They say pick up the object left behind. There's a whole set of nonsense they're writing. Then they went back to the car. They say the driver and the next man They searched the car, they searched the persons. Nothing of incriminating was found. But the people were arrested and escorted to the Porkine police station. I understand initial action. Yeah, you might want to carry them and question them a little further, get statement from them, perhaps. But I hope that shortly after, based on what is said there, these people were released either on bail or just sent away. Because from what they are saying, it is clear this man being in the ear gun, and when they stop the man, but the man felt a shot and they run. So the man know that he had this thing, the man run. A lot of excessive nonsense they write. Yes, there's a lot of excessive wording. Then they come to the back. Meanwhile, the police, if I was taking the criminal investigation department headquarters, where it was fumed for late, what is the significance of that? Rather than saying where it was examined from latent prints, it was fumed and that. Then they could tell you the magazine was ejected from the firearm and it contained all sorts of unnecessary, stupid information. Enough fluff. Enough fluff. So again, when they expose themselves, because you're telling me what they're saying here, this illegal firearm, this man pick up this illegal firearm that was thrown away or throw away, as they say, right? And well, nobody can check this thing to make sure it's safe and all them type of training to clear that firearm. Take out the magazine, check the chamber to make sure there's no wrong. You carry that firearm with a magazine inside at CID headquarters. That is what it's saying. Where the magazine was ejected. All of these things that write so much nonsense. And when you analyze this, we tell you there's a statement and analysis. We highlight the unprofessionalism. Because one would suggest, based on training, that from the time you find the firearm, the first thing you got to do is to make sure that you hold it with your hand and pick it up as evidence. Let me give you all a laugh. Well, not laugh, a story. Now, this is real. People used to tease me about it. Some of you might have seen it. I was working West Indies was playing Sri Lanka. And somebody from the party stand, the Trini party stand, threw a bottle and hit Latish Mulinga in the back. And Mulinga fell to the ground, and you would have believed that is a bullet struck him. Now, I see you're getting a little bit, I see it coming back. I don't know if I get a little problems. No, it's all right now. Yeah, so Mulinga fell to the ground. Latish Mulinga fell to the ground. You believe he was shot. So immediately I ran to the scene on the field, right? And there is Mulinga lying right, appeared to be in pain, and the bottle that struck him was there. And this is where all them people tease me. I took out my handkerchief, and I used my handkerchief to pick up the bottle to secure it as evidence. That was caught on camera. And the boys used to tease me about this big detective. I said, yeah, because if you don't know who threw the bottle out, and if you're going to do an investigation, you might want to check the bottle for prints. And therefore, I cannot contaminate the bottle by holding it just like that. So I took out my handkerchief and I picked it up. And again, we're saying this is the training, because when those patrols are going out, they should have evidence bag and all this everything. So that in that case that we referred to a while ago, when they would have picked it up correctly, normally you've seen picture, they use a pen to pick it up through the trigger guard and secure it. So when they pick it up, you don't know how many persons would have held it and handled it until they get to CD headquarters. And they're saying then they have to eject the magazine. So you're handling the thing and you're contaminating the evidence. You are contaminating the evidence. So when they come and they release all of this nonsense, you see exactly they do it and they don't recognize that they're skinning themselves up, so to speak. And that is why we emphasize this where training comes in. This is where training comes in. And before I hand over to Mr. Khan, before I bring in Mr. Khan, I tell you that when you look at the structure and the thing and the tense, I don't know if the verb is based on whatever say the man take out. Should it not have been that he took out? Then he threw it on the ground. Should it not have been that he threw it on the ground? You're reporting that something happened past tense. But again, I say, me and no luminary. I a little stupid by from BV back down. But I believe that if I can recognize these things, then with all them qualification that the president boasts in, the police get, I would have thought that people would have seen these basic, simple mistakes and they would have corrected them. Mr. Conway did training. He's a training czar. So let me bring him to comment on this. CC, your comments.
Well, I don't know if they're teaching them initial action at scenes of crime, things that you had to do, and how you preserve the evidence. But no, reading the article, and there's what my son would say, a lot of nonsensical nonsense that they put there. And we used to say, Paul, a lot of green verbs. I remember when I think was who was the crime chief then? I can remember his name just now. Alvin Smith. At his farewell function, we had Desmond White was there as the president, and the person who chaired the proceedings, he was tipped to become the next crime chief. And he spoke and he used what we call a lot of green verbs, mix up the words and the word, the pleasure is minds, and them kind of thing. And when Larry Lewis went to speak, he called his name. He said, he will not be my crime chief. He will be my second in charge, my 2IC in terms of crime. And Winston Felix, there's a Winston Felix store on crime chief. So, a lot of nonsense going on. And then even the weapon, you're clearing the weapon, basic things to tell you, mag off, cock, hook, and look. One of them kind of thing, maybe those basic things, not wrong anymore. Maybe they gone through the window, man.
Yeah, it would appear so. Because these things are basic things, and I say again, the ranks on patrol duty should have certain basic things with them, so that you get the scene. And a matter like this, you should have some evidence bag. I not only have it with them, but they should be trained how to collect evidence, because there's key evidence at the scene. Man, throw out a gun. Throw out a gun. That's what they're claiming. And then you're going to pick it up? No, you can't be picking it up just like that. You have to make, again, you cannot forget to be fumed to fingerprint, but you may have contaminated it in the process of picking it up and transporting it. So it's sad when they come with this, as CC said, nonsensical nonsenseness, right? Now let me move on. Last Monday when we met, I told you about a complaint that some ranks who retired during the year 2025 were making, in that they said they were advised by the police finance office that they are not entitled to the retroactive pay. The president announced that members of the force and others were going to benefit from a 10% pay retroactive from January 2024. These ranks who retired said that they were told that because they retired and because they were not on the pay list, pay sheet or whatever it is at the end of the year, they cannot be granted this retroactive pay. And I said, well, you find that very strange. If you work all through the year, and if you're saying that the pay is retroactive, I mean that for the months that they work, whether it's January, February, up to whenever they work, they should get it, and it should be computed for the superannuation benefits and all of that. Now, one of the students on the program, well, he told me he wasn't able to view the live, or else he would have made a comment, but he called me to tell me that it's an ongoing issue. There was some circular from the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service Ministry, I think, which brought this thing into effect, saying that if you retire during the year and there's a retroactive pay, then you're not entitled to that pay, even though you work all of those months. And I was pointed to a recent case where I'm reading it from the October 11th, and it says retired judges sue government for outstanding salary increases and other benefits. So it was brought to my attention, this is the matter that is currently engaging the courts, or the High Court in Guyana. And the article, let me read it, is a fairly short article. Retired High Court judges Brassington Reynolds and Franklin Older have sued the Guyana government for failing to pay them a retroactive 8% salary increase on their annual rate of salary up to December 2021. In the lawsuit filed on October 10, 2024, they said that it is a violation of the Constitutional Office Remuneration of Holders Order, because it should be used to calculate their salaries for the purpose of pension, and so it is inconsistent with and in contravention of their rights to pension and superannuation benefits in keeping with Guyana's constitution. The retired judges are each seeking and they get a sum and all this other thing. But basically, what the article is saying, and I said I'll bring it to your attention, students who contacted me about this issue, is that there is this circular which is now being challenged because the judges are saying that when the benefits and so on were to be computed, the government decide that this increase 8% at that time that was granted, that they are not entitled to it because they retired in that year. So it's something for people to follow, especially those people who have retired during the course of last year. Maybe it'll have impact for people who retired even before, to see where this will go. But I believe, it is my view, that if you work during the year, January, February, March, perhaps all the way to November, and then you retire in November, or you retire the 4th of December, and a retroactive payment is announced for public servants from the 4th of January, that you should be entitled, that if you work even if you retired in February, you should be entitled to it for January. And this thing has a lot of implications, and I would urge us to follow it to see where it goes. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for him to comment on that. CC, what are your views, my brother?
Very interesting. And I ordered a bit because a guy told me he woke up to November and I tell he can't get nothing because he's not on the December pay slip, pay sheet, So the thing is that I think you're entitled, and I'm happy that I missed out that the judges, the retired judges, challenge it. And too many things happening in this country that we're not challenging. Some of us feel that or feel that something they call retribution. They're gonna come against us. They're gonna come against our children and all kind of story. But a wrong is a wrong. Wrong is a wrong. When it's wrong, it's wrong. And people need to start challenging things, man. Going from the court, even if you gotta go to the apex court, go before it, man, and seek redress. Just like how when the president suspended us. Paul, you led the team, and we went before the court, and the court say the president is wrong, unconstitutional, null and void, virus articles also of the constitution, So the law got to be obeyed, and more so the constitution, which is the supreme law, and any law that I always say, any law that collides with that constitution has got to be fatal.
Yeah, my brother. Yes, well said, well said. Now we are sharing the life because I'm going to go into some issues now might shock you. So I want to tell you, it's early warning. Give warning. Brace yourself for the news that I'm going to bring to your attention now. Brace yourselves. Brace yourselves. Share the live. Share the live. I don't think we have enough thumbs up. Share the live. In the meanwhile, let me run the scroll to remind you. Let me remind you that you can contribute to the upkeep of this program. The scroll is there. The Zelle number is at below, and the Cash App number is as well. I told you on Monday that I have been able to establish a PayPal account, and it's been sorted out. So if you want to contribute via PayPal, talk to me, inbox me, send a message, and I'm going to tell you how to contribute using PayPal. But in the meanwhile, you can use Zelle and Cash App. Again, I want to thank all those who have been making contributions to the program. We appreciate it very, very much, and it will go a long way towards ensuring that we take care of all the overhead expenses and so on. But let me tell you this one. Share the live. Share the live. This is going to shock some of you. Can you remember not so long ago? Let me see. It was in let me get the date right. In August, at the end of August last year. At the end of August last year, there was this massive drug bust in Region 1, Matthews Ridge. Do you remember that? Remember that? I'm listening from Berkshire County in the UK. Joseph, welcome, my brother. Welcome to the program. Share the live. Share the live. Do you remember, students, that in August of last year, I think it's around the end of August, there was this massive drug bust in Region 1 of Guyana. Mr. Conway alluded to it. They had this massive operation where tons and tons of cocaine was discovered buried in some pit, they say. And what happened? This operation was an operation by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency. It involved CANU, the Custom and Anti-Narcotics Unit of Guyana, and it also involved the Guyana Defense Force Special Forces. That is what they said. Not a single police, including Ikin, who was in charge of the force, was informed of this operation prior to the operation. He did say that after the operation, James Singh, who is the head of KANU, might have told him they were excluded completely. According to my late friend, you said they were excluded out. They were excluded from this operation. We learned through the news, it was Kaichor News, who carried it shortly after early September, say that the commander of that division was fingered, quote unquote, fingered in this matter. Shortly thereafter, the commander, Senior Superintendent Shah, we were advised, was transferred to the transport workshop of the Guyana Police Force. He took over there from a cadet officer. He was transferred to the transport workshop. He took over from a cadet officer. Comrade, brace yourself. The man has now been elevated. Shah. Unbelievable but true. The man, he is now, I am reliably informed, the second in charge of operations in the Guyana Police Force. Listen to this. This man, who for a couple of short months ago was removed from Region 1 following the discovery of this massive amount of cocaine. He was removed to the police headquarters transport workshop, took over from a cadet officer. A senior superintendent took over from a cadet officer. Right? Recently, in the past couple of days, this man has been elevated to the position of second in command of operations of the Guyana Police Force. And just in case you don't know the structure, let me briefly tell you. You get the 5 deputy commissioners now. Commissioner, 5 deputy commissioners. Watts is the deputy commissioner operations. Right? So, and let me tell you further, because there's a post that I held. When you're in charge of operations, the divisional commanders come under you. The people, TSU comes under you. The transport workshop, force control. You have a wide span of responsibility. All of these things come under you as the man in charge of operations. 2 I see. So you have the man in charge of operation, deputy commissioner. The man below him in the organizational structure now is the second in command of operation. That is the man who was removed from Region 1 following the big, massive drug bust, where Kaichor News said that the man is fingered. I know to what extent he's fingered. Fingered get a lot of connotation. Us young men, you know, you talk about finger. And I ain't going to go into it anymore. This is not an X-rated program. But you talk about finger. So when they said the man was fingered, and he was removed from the division, put to a lowly place like the transport workshop to take over from a cadet officer. This man has now been elevated to be the second in command of operations. So all them divisional command and all them people, in essence now, are under him. They have to report to him. You think it easy in this place? You think it easy? And then they vex with you when you bring these things to attention, where they did not see. We understand it is alleged that this man had his visa revoked and all of that because of his belief, because they believe that this man might be, against allegation, involved in nefarious activities. And they moved this man to one of the most senior positions in the Guyana Police Force. Unbelievable, but true. Unbelievable, but true. That the man is second in charge of operations. One of the most powerful positions, because after the deputy commissioners, the operations man normally is an assistant commissioner and so on. A very powerful position. So TSU and all of those places got to report to this man now. And you want to know how things are, why things are as bad as they are. And they will tell you how good the force is doing and all of that. Let me bring in Mr. Conway to deal with this. CC, Shah, the man who was removed from Region 1, it is now reported that he's now second in command of operation. Your take on that?
Yeah, I saw the official message that was circulating. And as you mentioned, the report that he was fingered in the tons of cocaine that they found at Matthews Ridge, brought him to a transport workshop, where to go from a cadet officer. And the definition for cadet officer, technically, a cadet officer is not really an officer. A cadet officer is someone who's been trained to become an officer. And here's it. Sir has been elevated second in command of operations in the Ghana Police Force. And I held a position too. I was there second in command. I was of operation under Winston Felix, who was then acting deputy commissioner of operations. And Winston Felix, I remember, gave me a whole lot of scope to deal with those commanders and everybody. And he used to tell me, hey, when I go to and discuss on certain things, he say, hey, me and you know senior superintendent work is you got to do the work, you know. And he gave me a lot of scope, and it's a powerful thing in the absence of the deputy commissioner operation is you, and you the man. And here's it. They haven't come out with a statement and say, hey, this man has been cleared. He's no longer finger. That is wild news. That is unsubstantiated. They remain silent, and they elevated him to second in charge of operations, one of the most powerful office in the Ghana Police Force. For me, operation more powerful than admin, you know, because you're dealing with TSU, you're dealing with traffic, you're dealing with mountain match, you're dealing all those marine section and all those areas come under your purview. And here it is, he's there. So if Watts isn't there, he's the man in command. I'm surprised they didn't say he was rotated.
Well, yes, they haven't said anything publicly. So I guess when they come out with if at all they come out with an announcement, they're going to say it's just a rotation for exposure and all that. And Aubrey, is not operations room breakdown. No, that is not where I understand my information, the Magan. Two IC operations. And for some more information, the man there before was this by Superintendent Stevens, was at two IC operations. So I think he now has gone to the transport workshop. So it's a switch. Stevens gone to the transport workshop, and Shah, a man who they say was fingered in this thing, he is now second in command of operations in the Guyana Police Force. God, as Mr. Conway would say, God help the Guyana Police Force. And it is clear that when you commit yourself, or when allegations, and don't let me say that he committed himself, but when allegations are made against you, because there was no investigation, we don't know if in fact the article is true that he was fingered. We don't know. They never said anything. But he was removed, which is suggestive. He was removed from Region 1. He was replaced by an officer, and then shortly after, Ramana replaced that officer. That is how, his musical chairs. That is how it works. But I'm saying that the mere fact that you remove him, why did you remove him? Must have been because you felt that either he was culpable in some way or the other, or he was negligent. So you had him removed. And now the man is elevated to that position. And see, I sat in that office too. I sat in that office, 2IC ops. But let me give you a laugh. I think it was Poppy Fredericks who was 2IC ops, and I was the traffic chief. And Poppy Fredericks went and leave, and Larry Lewis told me I was take over ops. I wasn't giving up the traffic chief function, so I was performing dual function. As a matter of fact, at the time, I was also performing the function of welfare officer. And there was a matter that came to me as traffic chief, and I wrote strongly about it to go back to 2IC operations. So when I got to 2IC operation now, and what's your name? I can't remember what your name now. Bring the file to me. It's the same thing I write. I put down the position where they expect me to answer the thing. I said, that me, when the substantive traffic chief come back, Bobby Felix, he can answer it. Not I. I had answering that thing that I wrote to it. So you get these things here happen from time to time. That's easy.
I remember the incident very well. You spoke about it before, you know. Yeah, sometimes you write something and you go back and read the same thing. You have to deal with the thing yourself, but then you'll be man enough and say, I'm not touching that. I'm not really dealing with that at all. But then coming back to Sai, you know, and then they remove him so fast from Region 1, and then, you know, nothing said, and now he's elevated. Questions, a lot of questions, unanswered questions, and they remain silent.
Mike, look. Mike wants to know about my involvement. Let me hear about your involvement in the 2020 rigging. But in 2020, I did out of the work long time ago. So Mike, wrong place, wrong time. Bye bye. Bye, Mike. You're at the wrong place, buddy. 2020, we were all civilians, yeah? We were all civilians at the time. So let me get you the mic quick time. You don't come here and troll me for anything. All right, good. So let me move on now. Now, again, um, I think I was in the last program in last year. We tell you about the crystal ball, about promotions that were likely to be made. Promotions from inspector to assistant commissioner. According to the Constitution, those promotions are made by the Police Service Commission. And I said that you are going to be surprised because the list was leaked some time ago. And some people who have serious criminal allegations against them were put there to get promotion. Some of them were to jump all over the place and jump people and all of that. And there was a delay in the list. In that list, I recall that when the commissioner now, who was then the man acting, still a squatter, he wrote to say, I got a copy of the thing. He wrote to say that the senior promotion board met, and he named some officers who met to come up with this list of recommendations for promotion, right? And we discovered that one of the persons who is said to have been at that meeting was out of the country at the time. So it was a bogus list. Since around June last year, and nothing had happened. And we were asking, because the last program I said that I understand that a list was submitted to the recommendation to the Police Service Commission. The Police Service Commission examined the list, made some adjustments, significant adjustments to the list, and sent it back to the force. When it got back there, the adjusted list, the amended list did not find favor with the administration. So they complained, and the thing has been held up. You know, we like to research. Now, I research and I discover, according to the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, that the Police Service Commission currently, it is not legally and constitutionally established. Let me repeat that. The Police Service Commission currently, at present, right now, or as the Conchiba say, presently now, they are not legally constituted and cannot make any decision about promotion or anything like that. And why do I say that? I'm going to ask Mr. Conway to tell us about the Constitution, Article 210 in particular, which tells you how the Police Service Commission is comprised. It tells you how the Police Service Commission is comprised. And right now, the commission, since the death of Mr. Mark Conway in November of last year, the Police Service Commission is not constitutionally or lawfully comprised, and therefore any action that they take after the death or they took after the death of Mr. Conway can be challenged. I say this to say to Mr. Brutus that if it is that you were interdicted from duty and placed on half pay following the death of the member of the commission, Mr. Mark Conway, I know you are a litigious person. You should challenge it. It is unconstitutional. And let me bring in Mr. Conway for us to tell us. Conway like read the Constitution. He can tell us what the Constitution says. CC, you heard me there. What are your views, brother? Carry on.
You are very pellucid, but let me put things in context, proper context. Now, I'm reading from the Constitution, Article 210(1). And it says, the Police Service Commission shall consist, a chairman appointed by the president acting after meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition from among members appointed under para C. I'm going to go to para C. B, the chairman of the Public Service Commission. C, 4 members appointed by the president upon nomination by the National Assembly after it has consulted with such bodies as appear to it to represent the majority of the members of the police force and any other such body it deems fit. So it's saying that the Police Service Commission should comprise of 5 members. A chairman appointed by the president from among 4 members submitted through the parliament. Now, the bodies that are really appear to represent the majority of members of the police service, like the police association and the ex-police association, or any other body that is deemed fit. One time Clementori said the community policing group, the national community group, could make nominations. Now you have the chairman of the Public Service Commission and the four members that that were sent to Parliament. Now they sent to Parliament the four members. If it's the police association make the four nominees, it goes to Parliament. The select committee will meet, and then they will send the names, the approval to the president, who will choose a chairman among them. So the thing is that they must have five members. Five members. If you have four, it cannot work. I recall you had a court case where the Chief Justice ruled that the Police Service Commission was not properly, legally, and fully constituted. We had four members appointed by the president, and the fifth member, who should have been the chairman of the Public Service Commission, was not there because the Public Service Commission was not appointed. So after the person raised it, they hurry and they swear in the chairman of the Public Service Commission and made him a member. So there should be five: the four that came from Parliament and the chairman of the Public Service Commission. So and I remember the Chief Justice saying that it was unconstitutional, and it said that the Police Service Commission cannot perform any functions of the commission unless it is properly and fully constituted. And here we have now the one man died, my cousin died, so they have four members. And if it is true that they're performing the functions of the Service Commission, it means that it is illegal according to the ruling of the current ruling of the Chief Justice. And they can't shelter under the doctrine of necessity. No way. That's an old, antiquated doctrine. I think they use it once in Grenada, once in Pakistan, and once, I think, in Nigeria. That there must be five members. As it stands now, they have four members, and you could end up in gridlock. If they come to voting, they might have a 2-on-2 situation. Real good luck, good luck. But here what the Constitution say in terms of article, let me go back to it. Article 210.4, it's talking when the position is vacant. If the office of an appointed member of Police Service Commission is vacant, or if the holder thereof, or for any reason unable to perform such functions of his or her office, the president, acting after meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition, may appoint a person who is qualified to be appointed as a member of the commission to act in that office. Any person or so appointed shall, subject to the provisions of Para 3, continue to act until the person has been appointed to that office in which he or she is acting and has assumed the function thereof, or as the case may be, until the holder thereof resumes office. So now, if the office is vacant, as it's presently now, they have to go back through the process where they have nominees sent to, or nominees sent to the National Assembly. The select committee will deliberate and then send the name to the president. But as distinct from the previous thing there, is that the president has got to get meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition in order to fill that vacancy. Meaningful consultation, as far as I'm concerned, is not like what happened where Gail Tishere will write to Arbie Norton reply, Gail Tishere send back something, and then the president will decide. That is not meaningful consultation. They must sit down and discuss. They must sit down and argue. They don't have to get agreement, as in the case with the Chief Justice and the Chancellor. But this is saying, then where the position is vacant, the president, they have to go through the process in terms of nomination being made to the National Assembly. The select committee reads and send the name to the president, and then he has to have meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition before any decision the person is appointed. So as it now stands, the Police Service Commission is not fully constituted, and according to the Chief Justice in our recent ruling, cannot perform any functions on behalf of the commission. None whatsoever. So if, as you mentioned, they had quietly interdicted Brutus and put him on half pay after Conway died, well, then that would be unconstitutional, that would be illegal, that would be null and void, and that would have no legal effect. So I'm hoping that very shortly they go through the process, have nominee sent to the police service, to the National Assembly. The select committee will reach out to the committees don't reach regular as they have to, and the president will have meaningful consultation so that the policemen who deserve promotion will get promotion. I know they can promote a lot of incompetent people and all that kind of story, but there are a lot of policemen and women who deserve promotion and they should get their promotion. But the Police Service Commission has to be properly and fully constituted according to Article 210.
Well said, my brother. Well said. Well, we can't just leave it there. So let me get a little piece more of this button. Now, let me understand, because people are asking a question there about meaningful consultation. We can address that. The Constitution is clear as to the composition of the Police Service Commission. Mr. Conway went through it. And I think it is important enough for us to go through it piece by piece. The Constitution is clear. When this current commission came into being, it was not fully constituted. And on this program, Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence, Mr. Conway is the man who led and pointed that out to say that this commission, according to Article 210 of the Constitution, is not properly constituted. Senior Counsel Rysdale Ford, after that, took up that issue. The Attorney General called out Rysdale Ford, say that he following Sloan Conway and da. The matter went to court. It went to court, and we were vindicated. The Chief Justice ruled that in the absence of the chairman of the Public Service Commission, who according to the Constitution is an ex officio member of the Police Service Commission, meaning that by virtue of his office, he is a member of the Police Service Commission. In the absence of that person, the Police Service Commission cannot be said to be lawfully constituted, and the Chief Justice so ruled. However, the actions that the commission took, those illegal actions that they took to promote people and all of that, the Chief Justice, I think, used what they call the de facto doctrine to save those actions. So even though the actions were unconstitutional and illegal, they got this doctrine they call de facto doctrine, which says, all right, we're going to make it right. But then she did say, to the best of my recollection, that they cannot perform any other function until the commission is properly constituted. The ruling is there. It's a recent ruling. I know a lot of lawyers and them following. I hope that they are boxing through and they're going to stand up. Because as it is now, I don't know whether the commission has acted unlawfully. Let me understand this clearly. I don't know, because they haven't said they have made promotions. They haven't said that they have disciplined anyone. They haven't said they have interdicted. That is since the death of Mr. Mark Conway in November of last year. So I don't know that they have acted, but I'm saying that we're there to act. Following the death of Mark Conway, those actions will be unlawful and unconstitutional. Now let me go further. So that is what it is. Now it goes on to say, and Mr. Conway pointed out that and you know, this is one of the things, because if you recall, prior, this is an amendment when they talk about who they got to consult with, right? The Constitution before that said you just consult the persons who represent the police force, who seems to represent the majority of the police force, something towards to that effect, right? Now, when they had an amendment, and then they add on that thing to say, and other such bodies, right, that seem to represent. So that is how community policing and all of these people came in to the to be able to have a say. Parliament will reach out to them and they will have a say in this thing. They have a say in who should be nominated to be part of the Police Service Commission. And what happened? Let me walk you all back. President unlawfully suspended the commission that I chaired. Mr. Conway was a member. We challenged it in court and won. The judge ruled that the president acted unconstitutionally, unlawfully, ultra-virus, and all other descriptions were used to describe the president's action. Then what happened? You got to understand, let me walk you out through this thing, This is a charity life. This is teaching. Now, the body that they say, based on the Constitution, this body that they say, we say the 4 members appointed by the president upon nomination by the National Assembly after it has consulted such bodies as appear to it to represent the majority of members of the Guyana Police Force and such other bodies as is deemed fit. Now, the body that appears to represent the majority of the members of the police force is the Police Association. And for years, the Police Association will make the nominations. But then they come on, as I've said, it says such other bodies. So this such other bodies thing, now you bring in community policing, you're going to bring in some business organization, you're going to bring in some, all other people come in to have a say on who these members of the commission should be. What happened? In anticipation, because the life of the commission I chaired came to an end in 2021. And what they did, Brutus, same Brutus will get charged with 252 charges. He was at admin. He held a meeting, unlawful and unconstitutional meeting. No regulation, no act, no law gives him the authority to hold a meeting. Nigel Appy was kind of the function, told the commission, not the commission, showed the police association that they should have a meeting to elect new office members. Brutus preempted that. He had a meeting in the morning, and he and his people, his squads, installed Prem Narayan, who is now the triple jumper, head of special branch. He was installed as the chairman of the police association. The very afternoon, the other body, chaired by Inspector, the inspector there, Inspector Ford, they held the meeting as was directed by the commissioner or the man who was kind of the function, Nigel Appy, and they returned the officers unopposed in that position. Right? They are empty as the returning officer. When Appy learned that there were 2 meetings, 2 separate meetings to elect members of the police association, he initiated both meetings. He said he didn't understand that. He didn't recognizing the result of any one of the meetings, and they were to have another meeting. Appy said so one day. Right? The next morning, Appy write to say, I got a letter somewhere so I don't talk out what in my mouth. To say after mature consideration and all other thing, he is now recognizing the first meeting that was organized by Brutus, where Prem Narayan was elected as the chairperson or installed as the chairperson. So that is what it was. And it's them now, this same Prem Narayan Association, submitted the names of the people that wanted to be on the commission to Parliament. They are the ones who submitted the names. And from that, I know if it's the same, if they only submit 4 or if they submitted 4. I know more about that I can't talk now, but I want them to challenge me. I know more about how people were nominated and people were appointed to that thing. I get the thing, right? So they went there and they did what they had to do. They put those people in. It was all orchestrated. It was all planned. But I'm making the point, that somebody asked about consultation. What you got to observe in this thing, and I did not realize it until I did the research over the weekend. Because the original process, the names are submitted, the president will extract one from the name that he wants to be the chairman. He's supposed to have meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition, and then they go ahead. That is to the chairman. But in terms of the other members, there's no consultation. Just appoint. Once the parliament send the thing to the president, you just say, well, yeah, you appoint those persons. But I was pleasantly surprised to discover that when you want to replace a person, the president now has to have meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition. That is what Article 210.4 says. Tell you I didn't know that all the time, but it's good to read and research and bring the credible information to your attention. So to replace Conway, who died in November, they got Mr. Council got through the process, and the president has to have meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition. Now, somebody asked, what is meaningful consultation? And Mr. Conway indicated, I maintain that meaningful consultation cannot be guilty share right on behalf of the president to the leader of the opposition and say we want to nominate these people. We are advising you that we want to appoint these people. The opposition leader writes back and say, I don't agree for these reasons. And then guilty share right again on behalf of the president, notwithstanding what you say, we believe the people are good enough and we're going to be at a point. That cannot be meaningful consultation. And I would expect and I would hope that matters like these are challenged all the way to the apex court to have a decision as to whether that can be considered as meaningful consultation, having regards to the fact that previously there was no need for a meaningful consultation, but the amendment was made and they put in meaningful consultation. And I am saying that the legislators, the people who make this law, when you look at the intent and the spirit of the article, again, me are no liar, but when you look at the intent, the spirit, they talk about the letter and the spirit of the constitution of the law, they could not have intended for to exchange the two letters as meaningful consultation. I don't think so. And I would urge that when these matters come up, because I anticipate from the crystal ball again, now that we talk, if they have not done it before, they're going to go through the process. They're going to write to the leader of the opposition and say, hey, we want to appoint this man to replace Mark Conway on the constitution thing. And whatever the opposition leader says, it doesn't matter much. They're going to go ahead and they're going to make it. They might challenge it in court, and then the court might rule again, as they have done before, that, hey, that is meaningful consultation. These things are to go all the way to the CCJ. The apex court, many decisions have come from the CCJ in recent times, which have not found favor with us. But that is what the system is. That's the apex court. What they say, that is what it is. And I don't believe such important matters as what is considered meaningful consultation should not be left like that. It is not a moot issue. It should not be left like that. These things should be challenged all the way for us to get a proper pronouncement on what is considered meaning. If those things that took place, what I consider the travesty, can be considered meaningful consultation. I don't think it is. And again, as Mr. Conway pointed out, this is about the Constitution, which we continue to remind people is the supreme law, and which I continue to say the current administration, the president, has been trampling on the Constitution. The Justice Dino Prasad, ruled that, and there's a ruling that you all must read. I know that the Attorney General, the jump as he usually does, they say that he's appealing, but it was a solid ruling. When I talk about the ruling in relation to the suspension of the Police Service Commission, violated the Constitution clearly. You're going to be a liar to see that. But, Nanlal come and not fancy stupid words he's using and all this everything to try to hoodwink. Well, when he speaks to a particular audience of sycophants. So whatever he said, I can believe. They don't have the intellectual nimbleness to analyze to themselves. And don't listen again. We say, don't listen to what Sloan Conway says. We give you the reference, Article 210 of the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Go and read it for yourselves. Don't believe what we say. Go and read it for yourself. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. Well, before I bring in Mr. Conway, again, I want to say that there are a lot of people who are deserving of promotion. Enough people in the force. And it is a crying shame that since 2022 July, senior ranks in the force have not been promoted. A lot of people have retired, not benefiting from the promotion that they were entitled, not only entitled, that they were qualified for. So the superannuation benefit, the pension, everything is affected by that. No fault of theirs. Since 2022. And then to make matters even worse, as we have said before, what they do now, when they get a promotion, everybody get the same date. Again, affecting the benefits of persons. Again, affecting the dons, people lazy. But not only lazy, the dons, they don't know. They don't know. The secretary, the current secretary, Jaigobin Jai Singh, admitted that to me, that he did not know how the seniority thing works. And I had to then do it myself to make sure that the correct dates were given to people when they were promoted. Correct dates, because it affects seniority, and in organizations like the police force, seniority is a very important thing. Very, very important. There's a mentally lazy Jason, and incompetent and corrupt, all roll in one, and lying, all. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. CC, I've had a mouthful. Let me hear your views, my brother.
Let me go back to the genesis of this thing. This appointment and nomination. I remember when we were members of the Police Service Commission that you chair, Paul. The president had wanted certain persons to be promoted, and I could call name Karen Bash, Brutus, Shiv Prasad Bacchus, Chevron Jubito, Prem Narayan, and others who had pending disciplinary matters in place. And we said, no. They can't be promoted unless they got things. And we were coming up, our term was coming nearly to an end. And there was then that they had to make nominations for new members of the Police Service Commission after a term finished. Word leak out that the Service Commission then, because of the excellent work we were doing, they decided that they're going to nominate us for a second term. Word got out. And there's then the politicians, they came into play. There's how Brutus held an election. He was served as a returning officer. And they were given names of certain persons they want to be chairman and another thing. And Brutus came up with a name, with a list. Happy hold another election the same day. And you remember the Happy vitiated both elections. And then he was called to Home Affairs. He was called to Ministry of Legal Affairs and passed over the codes. And then shortly after, you wrote that due to mature thinking, the first election that was held was the correct one. And that election disenfranchised thousands of policemen from selecting who they want to be in the association, because the politician give them said, these are the names that we want, and these are the names that you almost send to the National Assembly. They were given the names, I understand. So the names that they got, they send the names to Parliament, and the process went through. And as if to reward them, all those persons who serve on that installed police association were promoted, including the triple jumper who including triple jumper who moved from an inspector to a superintendent, and all of them were rewarded with promotion because they obeyed the orders of the politician. They sent the names that they were given to Parliament. The commission had no say in it. Well, he can't get no say in it. Nobody had no say in it. They just sent it there. And that was it. So they corrupted the whole process, so that whosoever they want to promote, they had their own people there at the service commission who will make promotion. And we know what happened with the 2020, the 22 promotions. We know what happened there. Promote people who left the work supersession, the order of the day, person who qualify them, they promote, person who pass the promotion exam, which are a requirement, person with display matters, they promote and all that kind of thing there. So the whole idea was to get to us and to install their own people as members of the police service, of the police association, so that they can do their own thing. They could do their own corruption. They could have political control over the police force. And that is exactly what happened. And that is exactly what we're facing.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. So we just got to make the record straight. Let people know exactly what has happened. They come with all the propaganda and so on. So we got to point out these things. And I've said to people, don't take the word that we spew here as gospel. We tell you the reference. Article 210 of the Constitution speaks to the appointment of the Police Service Commission. And you can look at it for yourself. You can look at it for yourself, right? Now, look. The guy want I can deal with it. The guy want how come we didn't hear the same when Granger made on unilateral appointment? Who unilateral appointment? The one appointment that Granger made that was challenged was the appointment of the chairman of the GCOM, and the court ruled that he was wrong and he had to do the right thing. When I was appointed chairman of the Police Service Commission, there was consultation between the president and the opposition leader, Bara Jagdeo. At that face-to-face consultation, Jagdeo took Gail Teixeira and Irfan Ali with him. Face-to-face, they sat down across the table and the thing. Because when David Granger told Jagdeo that he intended to have me appointed as the chairman of the police commission, Jagdeo objected and said that I get baggage and all sort of crappy type. But then Jagdeo, who is accused of taking bribes from Chinese businessmen, says, slow, get baggage. And I tell him, yes, I get baggage, but look to see what's in the baggage. The baggage has professionalism. It has honesty. It has integrity. And I'm willing to lend them some or to even give them some. I told them that. I told the thing that. So don't worry with them, troll when they're sending it for dealing with them. Allow that one a little while. Why now it does work? I tell them that they go on NCN and let them voice their concerns. They're not on this program. Now let me move in the share, man, because now we're going to talk about this thing, these announcements that came over the new year. So share the live, share the live, share the live, share the live. Here, I want to say, I can put up your name because you ain't give me permission to put up your name. I want to say you understand that members of the police service regionally make it a must to tune into this program. They say it's a great learning forum. That is what we are here for. That is what we are here for. Beat and teach. Now, let me tell you, I had a brief moment, very brief. It was 2 days ago when I read that the commissioner, he's commissioner now, whether he's legal or whether he's over age, and he's commissioner, say he's commissioner, right? He's commissioner. This body is a done thing in there. I'll allow the student to take on them. Now, I see in the thing, today is a dawn of a new era. Corruption stop now. And they said that is a statement attributed to the Commissioner Clifton Ekin. Corruption stop now. So he said, well, this is good. It means that the logical statement after that, as of today, I have resigned my position as Commissioner of Police. I thought they would hear next. Because if corruption stop now, it means I expect here, I resign. But he ain't go on to that. So here, when we read, this will carry you to the end. We got enough to talk about. Maybe we got to come back again on the next program. And he wants traffic officers to desist from stopping vehicles without body cameras. Now, all of a sudden, the president and the commissioner and all them get obsessed with this body camera thing. And we got to talk about it. I don't know if time permits me or will permit us to go into any great detail today. But, yeah, Baled, when I heard the man say, corruption stop now, I say, oh, God, at last, we're going to hear about the resignation. Because that's the only way corruption can stop now. That's the only way. But then when he go on, he says, Police Commissioner Clifton Ekin has sent a stern warning to traffic ranks to desist from stopping motorists without being equipped with their body cameras, and more so, caution them to stop doing traffic duties and focus more on engaging with members of the public. You hear stupidness, sir? You ever hear stupidness like that? Hear what the commissioner telling the traffic ranks. He's telling them that I must stop doing traffic duties and focus more on engaging with members of the public. And the article goes on. The top cop made these comments on Monday during an engagement with police ranks of Division 4A at the Officers' Mess Annex Ivlery, Georgetown. The objective of the meeting is to, quote, set the tone, end of quote, and outline the way forward for the force in 2025. While commending the ranks for the decrease of almost 34% in crimes within the division, it can send a strong message to the traffic ranks, traffic and patrol ranks. And they're quoting here saying, traffic ranks, you are creating embarrassment to the country. Let me read that. You can tell it in traffic ranks, Mondigan, traffic ranks, you are creating embarrassment to this country. This is some man. Oh Lord, you have to forgive me. I must look unprofessional when I laugh when I read this thing. This is a man who said that he took $8.5 million in office from a businessman. I can read it just now too. He telling rank they created office to the country. So with immediate, they created embarrassment to the country. So with immediate effect, this coming from the commissioner now. Nobody from traffic is to stop any vehicle or ask for any license without a body camera. And if you're caught, you will face the consequences. That's the first thing I want to say to you. And the second thing is to change your uncouth way, change the uncouth way you speak to persons, uncouth way you speak to people, as if you weren't brought up. You will greet persons with good morning, good evening, madam, sir, Commissioner Ikin. But I know it's a warning. Further, he stated, quote, patrol ranks, you are disrespectful to yourselves and others too. You are doing patrols, but you are not engaging vehicles. You are not driving slowly with a flashlight on so people can easily have a talk with you. Instead, you find yourself stopping and doing traffic work too. But I want to say this for the anti-crime patrols. You are to drive very slowly. You are to have the windows down. You are to interact with everybody you see, the commissioner charged. In addition, he can also caution those present that corruption will not be tolerated in the Guyana police force, while adding, today, the dawn of a new era, corruption stops now. And then he go on to highlight, this thing is so laughable. This statement, the commissioner telling the patrol ranks, here we tell the patrol ranks, he said, patrol ranks, you are disrespectful to yourselves and to others too. You are not doing patrols. You are doing patrols, but you are not engaging vehicles. You are not driving slowly with your flashlight on, so people can really have a talk with you. Instead, you find yourself stopping and doing traffic work. But I want to say this for the anti-crime patrols. You are to drive very slowly. You are to have the windows down. And you are to interact with everybody you see. The commissioner charge. In addition, you can caution the Guyana police force, that those present, that corruption will not be tolerated. And let me regain my composure. Let me regain Mr. Conway while I regain my composure. Because this thing is no big thing or stretch out magazine. See, you ever hear such balderdash? Go ahead, let me hear your views, man.
I can't remember when last I heard so much of nonsense, and more so coming from the conform squatter. And then again too, it get difficult in terms of putting a couple sentences together so that can make sense. You expect that if you're going to hear things from the commission, it must be clear. It must be specific. That there must be no loophole that people can wriggle out of your instructions. He's not clear. Imagine he telling the people that everybody must interact with everybody they see. What nonsense is that? And then corruption. He got to start with he collected 8.5 for Brutus's wedding. And he said that because of his stakeholders, because of dealing with stakeholders, he's collected for people who get weddings, who get things, as the case may be. And collected from a man who was maybe the largest security service in the country that he got to supervise. So that if they give people gun who won't get precept, they can't do anything. If a man go and shoot out the weapons indiscriminately, they can't do anything because he had already paid money to police, preferential treatment, corruption, and then they're talking about 34% in decrease in crime. Is 11 crimes they're talking about? I read this morning some police get charged here, and daily you're hearing police getting charged for all sort of offenses. 11 crimes that they called serious crime. 11 that they even tell about crime done. I'm talking about patrol. I want to refer him to a booklet that I presented to that I researched and presented to the police force. Hints to patrol duties through Henry Green. Henry Green directed me, and I look at international best practices around the Caribbean. Hints to patrol duty. They should resurrect that booklet. I think I get a copy somewhere along the line. And maybe if people talk to me properly, I might be able to share it with them. That hints to patrol duty, how patrol must operate, the speed they must drive at, what they must look for, and all sort of things. But then again, what more do you expect from a commissioner who is who has the ability or who has been doing what Carl I mentioned a couple sessions ago? He doing seagull management. He flying in, make a little noise, crack up on people, shit up on everybody, and then go along his way. I see he running about the place, doing what you call like the politician, like he doing with the stop meeting. You been for A, yeah, you got for C. I heard he might end up in B division tomorrow. That's what he doing, running about the place and crapping up people, making it a nice and nothing. What he should do is that he should work on all notified inspection as set out in the standing order. Notified inspection at least once a year by the commissioner. Commissioner should do it, but since Green left, no other commissioner then notify inspection. Sila Prasad didn't hold any. All the others didn't hold any. Bromel didn't hold no inspection. James didn't hold no inspection. P was performance didn't notify. And notify inspection is key. Inspection is an indispensable tool of management, and it should go on notification at least once a year, and hold notified inspection where we look at the establishment and strength, the buildings and compound, arms and ammunition equipment, transport, look at the crime, looking at traffic, looking at the health of people, looking at the custody of government funds and all kind of thing. They is set out in this standing order number 16, pages 41 to 46. If you don't know, you could go and read it. And it's applicable. Instead of running about the place, holding with the staff meeting like politician, you should go and hold notified inspection. Paul Rembola used to get the notified inspection and used to send an advanced team. I think he used to look at what weapons and arms and ammunition. People used to look at finance, and that is what he's supposed to do. And sit down and talk to the ranks. Try to create a situation where they will be motivated. Don't go and shout down upon them. Don't go and harass them. Don't go and shit upon them. No. That is not the role of commissioner. So I'm saying, instead of you run about the place, go to each division and hold what we call notified inspection as set out in standing order number 16, pages 41 to 46. If you don't know, tells you about notified inspection. So you just jumping by the place and doing a lot of what I call seagull management, which is not beneficial to the force.
Notified inspection is key. Let me tell you an experience I had with notified inspection when Lilus was commissioner. I was the 4th Divisional Command, B Division as it was then. Now is Regional Division 3. Notified inspection, Lilus came to inspect. Well, you make a preparation. Notified inspection is a good thing as commander and your subdivisional officers, you get everything ship shape. You used to bring Malvin Peters, was a finance man. So Malvin Peters gonna check your books and all this everything. A source of mine told me to check carefully at Wales police station, something wrong. So when Peters came, I said, Peter, make sure you check properly at Wales. A source telling me something wrong. When I asked the source, he telling me why something wrong, check Wales. I later discovered that the sergeant in charge of Wales, ahead of the notified inspection, was in the community borrowing money from people. Kevin Adonis there on this live. You know what I'm talking about. He borrowing money from people. You think he was a couple, he was holding on for up man. So when Peter go, Peter sit down there with the cigarette because you smoke, the ash used to there till down like Dr. Wharton. Peter's check, Peter said, Paul, everything okay? So I say, sure. He said, yes, everything okay. Check all the records, all the prisoners' property, everything, bail, money, everything Peter checked. Them men were thorough and everything was okay. So I say, all right. So the station passed the inspection. Wales police station. About maybe I gave time because Miss Squaddy Ali was taking back over. And when Ali took him, he was on leave. And when he took him, I call the man who they begging for the money. When I pick up Dr. Albay, or being at the finance at Lenore there, right? Y'all know them police know what talking about. Ulrich and them know what talking about. Say, let me go and do a impromptu inspection at Wales. I got to Wales police station with Beckles, the finance man, to check on the cash. And when I got there, the sergeant who was taking over, Ali, my squad mate, and the couple who was handing back over to him, perspiration pulling out of the forehead and so. Perspiration, because they didn't expect to see me come back. So I say, hey, what is the position? I say, yeah, come clean. And no, it turned out that the man, the couple, they take the government money. He took the money and do his own thing with it. And he borrowed money from people from the village for the inspection. And when the inspection was over, he took it back. So when I turn up there now, I catch them. They catch E. That is how important notified inspections are. And there's only one example I'm talking about. Another notified inspection I had. Let me tell you as a commander. I didn't board beast. I inspected Springlands Police Station. I call him my name. Remember, I know the thing now. I don't know if you're alive or not. So I check in the nominal roll. When I checked the nominal roll and I saw the age of the sergeant in charge, I was taken aback because given his date of birth, he should have received by then his letter to go into retirement, but I had not seen anything. So I questioned him. You know what they want to tell me? They want to tell me, sir, the date of birth on the nominal roll that he prepared wrong. That is what they want to tell me. That's right. But I got to the general office, same man who got charged with the George Fraser. I told George bring the man record, file to examine. And I kid you not, they had 1 age coming through in the record, and all of a sudden it changed to another year. So I say I want to see board certificate and all those things to support this. I'm telling you, notified inspections are critical. They are critical. But coming back to the squatter, this is the man who tells people that causes embarrassment to the force. And hear what he says in this letter written on the 20th of May, not letter, a statement on the 20th of May, 2024. I'm going to read part. He said, I instituted a policy of motivating my officers through supporting them for special occasions, such as weddings, birthdays, and anniversaries, by providing support from a stakeholders approach. As such, I decided to continue this policy and proceeded to inform several of my personal friends and stakeholders about scheduled wedding of Calvin Butter's Assistant Commissioner of Police. And then he goes on to say in the same letter, he's a man who talks about embarrassing, telling the people embarrassing the force. Hear what he says in the same statement. Between 1st and the 10th of November 2023, I received cash from Amir Ahmad in large envelope. I subsequently counted the cash, and it amounted to $8,500,000. I was told by Amir Ahmad that the extra cash must be kept for any other unforeseen expenses that may arise. And here what here what was said about this same statement. You gotta play these things to you all, man, so you could understand what's going on. Here what the vice president, he coming out just now for the thing there. Here what he said about this statement where he can say, or this stakeholder thing, where he reaching out to stakeholders and friends for donation. Here what Jack do say.
And let me also make it clear here today that this government never sanctioned a policy where private individuals and businessmen could pay for the birthdays and weddings of policemen or other public officials. And let me also make it clear here today that this government never sanctioned a policy where private individuals and businessmen could pay for the birthdays and weddings of policemen or other public officials. In fact, we think it's reprehensible. It's reprehensible. So that's all I'm going to say for today.
It's reprehensible. And this, look, this place is not a real place. That is not a real place. The government never sanctioned it, but Jack just said reprehensible. And what did they do? They promoted him to commissioner of police. And he has the unmitigated gall to tell ranks how they're embarrassing this country. Traffic ranks, you are creating embarrassment to this country. That is what Ikin tells people on Monday, that they're creating. What can be more embarrassing than a commissioner, an acting commissioner, sitting in his office and admitting in writing that he collected $8.5 million from a businessman to finance the wedding of one of his officers, who is now before the court facing 252 criminal charges. What can be more embarrassing than that? What can be more? These people ain't got no shame, you know. I could imagine, though, them little constables and things sit down in the back. The guy got to sit down and listen. It's a discipline for work. So you sit down there and listen and say, yeah, so this man talking about? I mean, if you turn it to your squad, he said, what this man saying? This man know he's saying. This man take $8.5 million. This man, he is perhaps the most corrupt man in thing, and he coming to tell me about corruption. We taking a little gearing up on the road. We taking a little, and he tell her, he take 8. That's what they got them whispering among themselves. That is what they're whispering among themselves. I know how police operate. They're going to want to say nothing because they're going to last work. Right? They'll say, oh, this, and they're going to cuss, you know. They're going to use expletive. What is so this man talking about? Right? Man, look, you don't really so self and so on. That's why little police, and right in the meeting, they would have been whispering to one another. And when they go back in the back room, it's big laugh. Imagine this so and so telling me about corruption and all that, and Brutus, what happened to Brutus? 252 charges, $500 million. All of them are going to go and talk. They can't mention them things that in the meeting because they're going to last the work. They're going to last the work. Right? They're going to last the job if they were to do that. They were going to last the job if they were going to do that. So therefore, they are going to whisper among themselves, and when they go in the back room. But now, even in the back room, they're going to whisper because they got a lot of kachars. You know what's a kachar? They got a lot of snitches in the back room, and they would be afraid to voice those things openly because people going to go back and carry news, and then the next thing you know, they're that entering bang, they're somewhere far, and eventually they're going to last the work. So they're going to just snigger and swan about it. But I'm sure they are analyzing that statement. And Mr. Conway, we got to come back to this, but let me say this. When you say you got to be specific, the man was specific. The man said, I want anti-crime patrols. You are to drive very slowly. Otherwise, very slowly. You are to have the windows down. So rain can be pouring wherever, you got to get your windows down. You are to interact with everybody you see. You ever hear the commissioner telling the ranks of patrol that you are to interact with and this is mobile patrol, you know, men driving, so the windows are down, and they must interact with everybody they see. I want to see how this guy walk in Regent Street or any place else. This commissioner that you have is out of his depths, and it's time they understand that. They keep it there for whatever reason, but they got to recognize that this force can't go nowhere when you find this type of the instructions that this man telling people. You must interact with everybody you see. Tell me how they're going to work. You know, when they had about 2 years ago, when he came there, problems in traffic, he changed all the traffic heads were rotated. And then he instructed them, he said he wanted to line the road. Policemen, traffic policemen line the road to prevent speeding. Where did that go? Where did that go? So the commissioner, I was almost to say like the Home Affairs Minister, but you don't talk now. I haven't heard anything from the Home Affairs Minister in the longest while. Perhaps it's a good thing. Perhaps that is a good thing. Like the president, 5:30 meeting and so on, they don't make anything, they don't see anything that makes sense to me. For example, let me close with this before bringing Mr. Conway. For example, it is reported in today's media that the president went to, I think, Enterprise yesterday, Wednesday afternoon. And the president has instructed that by this weekend there must be a police outpost in the area. And more than that, let me find it. The president went to Enterprise. We're gonna talk about it on the next program, right? The president went to Enterprise yesterday afternoon. We said the Committee of Enterprise along the east coast of Demerara will soon enjoy greater sense of security with a new police outpost. The instruction to establish the outpost was issued by President Ali during community engagement on Wednesday afternoon, as yesterday afternoon. And here's what he said. The meeting was part of a series of community engagement to listen to concerns expressed by residents and to ensure that appropriate actions are taken to address them. The president said a staff complement of 3 officers will man the outpost and will perform regular patrols with the use of an all-terrain vehicle. President instructed yesterday by weekend, maybe Saturday, Sunday, well, weekend is Saturday, Sunday, an outpost to be established at Enterprise. And he said the outpost is staffed by 3 persons. The president said a staff complement of 3 officers will man the outpost and will perform regular patrols with that. They said, the courtier now say, before the end of the week, let us get an outpost here, end of quote. The president instructed senior officers at the meeting. That is what transpired. We have enough time to go into it. Outposts with 3 ranks. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. See, you have here madness. And that is why we are where we are in terms of crime and management and traffic management and all that. Your views, my brother.
Well, it's another case of political interference in the operations of the Ghana Police Force. The president announced their policy, but they defend their political interference in the operations of the Ghana Police Force. They're being do like what happened at Border Market, where we say police patrol, and by the next day a container arrive, and I had police there, I passed on the other day there and I see the police there are containerized. The police are containerized. All of them they container. So I know and 3 people can't run an outpost, man. Then I don't get time off. Then you have meals and all kind of thing. And if you get an ATV, it's a 1-man on the ATV is a 1-man show. Some of the things there that we can talk about. But there are many other things we need to discuss also. We need to follow up with the statement by the Scott, particularly talking about using body camera and all sort of things. So many things that we need to discuss. And I see time is running that we may close. And may close and then again making the plea for the Amerindian recruits who are performing duties in New Amsterdam. I think Christmas police should finish on the 15th. They'll go back to training at that adventure. And they have to buy their own boots. $7,000 from a police corporal. And most of those guys is from Region 9, the Rupununi area. They have to buy their boots. Perhaps like police ain't buying boots anymore. Police buying toilet paper and food stuff and all kind of thing. And then looking at the police there and the police in the road, the police not no longer wearing caps. They're wearing berets and they're wearing plastic. They're wearing canvas belts. Perhaps CB 252 company and maybe buying the berets and the canvas thing. They're not wearing the regulation uniform that we know about. And if there's a change in in the regulation, let us know. Make a statement that we know that for henceforth, police will no longer wear caps and they will wear canvas belts. They won't wear the normal thing. But saying Christmas is coming past, and I hope that before matrimony, I will continue to say that those ranks will be reimbursed the $7,000 each. They pay for the boots that they wearing to perform duties, and that the corporal who has been selling them those boots will dealt with. And if they take too long, I'm going to go to the press. I'm going to go and write in because I have all the information. I have all the information. But to ease the police are saying, deal with it and pay back them recruits their money, refund them their money.
Thank you very much, my brother. Have a pleasant rest of the day. And people tell me that I should not, this year, I got to always make sure that I give them the therapy. Here goes.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend of ours.
He claims.
Yes, he's a friend of ours. Y'all got your therapy there. And, you know, again, I got to read the statement. I've read it for some time now by J.S.K. Lal. He said, what we have today is not a government, but a gang of gangsters. For the most part, what guidelines are for leaders today are nothing but out-of-control lunatics, pathological liars, unreconstructed racists, and political sadists. You're going to hear some of this later today. You're going to hear G.S.K. Lal, political sadists, pathological liars. They're mendacious. The man from Jamaica, they said they're pathologically mendacious. That is what we have for leaders today. Folks, we have had a good Thursday. The turnout eventually turned to be very good, very, very good. And I compliment you for your attendance. I compliment you for attendance. Now, the regular schedule, we're going to be back to schedule, hopefully, God's Spare Life on Monday. So we have a lot more things to discuss. We have got to continue to discuss that statement by the commissioner. We haven't yet addressed the New Year message by the president. We haven't addressed the traffic issue, which has been in the news. I saw a letter or an article from the former British High Commissioner, Mr. Quinn, which I read. And we got to go through all of these things. So bear your safe, and be safe. As I tell you, be safe. You are living in some dangerous times in Guyana. Dangerous, dangerous times. Be safe, folks. And if God spare our lives, we are going to come here on Monday at the usual time for another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Until then, stay well. Bye.